People who downloaded their Google data and went through it. What were the most unsettling things you found out they had stored about you? That I'm a 64-year-old woman. I'm a 40-year-old man. I dunno. See, I don't know you, but Google is pretty reliable. Have you tried being a 64-year-old woman? Wow, thanks, he's cured lol. It's not much, but it's honest work. I truly do not know what Reddit would be without enough people like you. Probably a hole full of meme makers and weird ask Reddit questions 80% of the time. Wait. Lots of recordings of me asking the Google Assistant stupid questions. What's your favorite example? Google has recordings of me saying, "Okay Google, tell me a joke." That was the stupidest fucking joke I've ever heard in my life. Apostrophe. God, that's how I talk to my Google all the time when it triggers because of an ad, something I said, or something someone in a video said. I don't want it to interrupt what I'm watching because it doesn't understand I have no use for it. Found out my wife was addicted to a mobile game and had dropped $6,500 on it over the last year and a half. That set of a string of fun conversations. About a year ago I had a stroke. I only found out exactly when. After going through my Google history and finding that I googled loss of balance sudden right after that moment. The FAST method is a method to quickly check for the symptoms of a stroke. Because in a stroke, time is the most precious time of all. A couple of hours can make a life and death difference. Each and every one of those is a symptom of a stroke. Only one of these needs to show up in a stroke. So it's recommended to call emergency services as soon as possible if one of those symptoms appears. Face. In times of stroke, one side of the face can seem to be drooping and stiff. That is due to the body losing motor controls in parts of the brain. Arms. In a stroke, the sense of balance might be off. Tell the suspected patient to lift his arms to be in front of him, to close his eyes, and to try and keep his hands at the same height. If he is unable to do so, call the emergency services. Speech. Due to lack of fine motor controls while having a stroke, a person's speech will appear mumbled or incoherent. The person might hear you well and not even notice it. Time. In the video, the time is for time to call 911, but it can be a symptom too. A stroke victim might lack a sense of spatial and general awareness. They might lose track of time, and so ask them if they can tell what day of the week it is, or what month they are in. This is written on the go, and I'm not a native English speaker. I will try to clarify it when I get home, but I'm not sure I will have that time. I hope it helps you. ABD, remember, strokes are very dangerous. When I was 20, I had a headache at the base of my skull, left side only, that felt like I was hit by a bat. The next day, half my face was paralyzed. I was panicked. Turns out, it wasn't a stroke, but Bell's palsy. Super annoying but otherwise harmless. Fades away in about 3 weeks. But, if someone has a paralyzed face and no diagnosis, get them to the hospital ASAP. Also had Bell's palsy. Didn't have any other stroke symptoms, but went to the ER just to be safe. They certainly do rush you through when you are showing stroke-like symptoms. Turns out it was Lyme's disease. Never even saw a tick or bullseye rash. If we are being honest, I was more horrified about looking through my own browsing data. Turn off web search history and set your history to delete every 3 months. Or use DuckDuckGo. Honestly, I'd love to use DuckDuckGo, but I can never get decent results with it. That's why more need to use it to assist the algorithm. The funny thing is, Google's results are probably targeted because of the data they have on you. The DDG results would be natural results. The fact that they saved every link you visited if you use Chrome or Google, that's kind of fucked up. And hearing recordings of the Google Assistant when you didn't even say "Hey Google," and a full track record of your location in coordinates with timestamps. So they just save everywhere you have ever been, as long as you don't turn it off in settings. Oh cool. I keep mine off unless I use it, so they only record when it's on in the settings. I think it's the settings under the Maps History tab. I just turned off all of the privacy related stuff. Same thing goes for YouTube BTW. Turning off video and search history seems to stop them from tracking your video history. Cool, thanks for the tip. It's mostly zip files and I can't understand it, but they appear to track my location several times per minute with the exact GPS coordinates. I think I turned location history off, not sure if they still do. They also for some reason had the movie Unplanned listed with words like gross, distasteful, unsettling, which were an indication of my feelings about this movie. No other movies or TV shows were listed in this manner. Google has an agenda. Which agenda? I know not. Own everyone's data. Own and sell. That's their real business model. The company that controls the most info is the one all the other corporations want to advertise on, since their ads would be the most effective. Facebook is a distant second to Google at the moment, I believe, but they all are trying to achieve the same thing. Even Reddit, Google Analytics. They track everything and sell whatever information any company wants for marketing purposes. Old naked pics of X. I thought I deleted it, but Google stored in cloud. Weird. Edit. Stop asking about the photos. It is not funny, because Google knew you had deleted them from your phone, but not from your heart. You got a mind reader and a poet. Know the pain of love. Maybe. Haha. I submitted my request. Waited. Got a download link. Anticipated. And I have here 98 GB of someone else's Google account data. How long did it take? I think I saw 2 gigs, but it's been 30 minutes. Nothing yet. They have a record of every place you have ever been. I took Lyft ride to my mechanic to pick up my car. That night I wanted to send a text, but couldn't find my phone. I looked everywhere, and then I remembered the last time I had a phone was when I was in the Lyft car. So I thought, I left the phone in the car. I went to the Lyft site, and sure enough there was a link for get something. Click here to contact the driver. I thought, oh good. Well, turns out, you need your phone to even log in. So I was out of luck. Did some search, and someone suggested, if you are on Android, sign into your Gmail, and look for the phone's location. Holy shit. They have GPS records of all the places you have ever been. Minute by minute. Day by day. For the last several years. The record showed me the phone going from my home to the mechanics, and hasn't moved since. That's how I found out I left it there. Every time I go to the liquor store, they ask me if I have a reward card. I always say no, because I don't want any private company have a record of how much and how often I buy booze. The 5% discount is not worth it. Guess what? Google knows how often you stop at a liquor store. Not just that store with a rewards card, but every goddamn liquor store you have ever been in. And oh, once they realized that my phone was at a mechanic's place for a whole night, most of the ads for my apps and games were auto parts stores and auto repair places. This saved me once, but it's still scary. I stumbled across the ML thing while I was trying to figure out how to access data from one of my old phones that I didn't remember the password to. A month or two later, I had a run-in with a Karen in the parking lot and accidentally left my phone on the back bumper of some random truck. By the time I figured out where I had left it, the car was already gone. I pulled up this tracker and was able to watch everywhere the truck went. From when it left the store to when it stopped at McDonald's to when it pulled into a neighborhood and finally stopped moving. My husband and I went to the location and easily found my phone on the back of the truck. Based on its location in the parking lot, I had a pretty good idea where this person lived, and they had no idea the phone was even there, or they were being tracked by some random person who now knew where they lived. Also, you can track multiple devices if your email is on them. We lent my mom our tablet for a space of time, since her phone wasn't working, and the tablet had a phone number. When I first discovered this application, I realized I was able to track everywhere she went. You could easily track your friends or so's location by simply signing into your email on their phone. You don't have to get some crazy FBI technology to track a complete stranger either. Edit. Please protect your Gmail passwords, people. Think of all the information someone has access to if they can just sign into your Google account. You could easily track your friends or so's location by simply signing into your email on their phone. You don't have to get some crazy FBI technology to track a complete stranger either. That is scary. Useful, but scary. My friend's mom is developing dementia. We gave her an Android phone just for this reason.